building that we're standing in now is the original home. This part was built in 1854. It was the private residence of Armstrong and Eliza Beattie. Armstrong was the first banker ever in St. Joe, and he's still the only 5-time mayor. Armstrong and Eliza built this residence when they moved here. They didn't live here long. Armstrong died about 1874, 75. And Armstrong actually, it's a little mysterious. I don't want to make claims that we can't back up, but his death was mysterious. He was perfectly healthy, all of a sudden fell unconscious on Tuesday, died 2 days later on Thursday, and nobody could figure out why. The doctor finally diagnosed it as cholera. We did a little research, and cholera actually, it presents as the same symptoms as arsenic. Well, people who get cholera, they don't just all of a sudden fall unconscious and die 2 days later. It takes time. It's progressive. So we're kind of wondering if there wasn't something shady. And Armstrong actually had a huge reputation as being a shrewd businessman, very, very shrewd. We found tons of lawsuits dealing with business and property. Eliza then died 2 years later in 1878. She died of malaria, and they left no heirs. So
they have no children.
No children at all.
We came here just because of a request of, hey guys, come on in here and see what's here. Is this place haunted or not?
Help us out.
And we discovered that yes, it's very haunted. We were here the first day we were here. We set up. We hadn't even set up. We were going to do dead time where we just sit, totally quiet in the house. And from the other side, which will take you exactly where this voice came from, we hear this high-pitched lady's voice go, "Won't you take me home?" And then I saw a shadow dart across this part of the wall that had been there the whole time I was sitting in that chair. And I just thought, oh, that's the shadows from the light play, and just a pattern of the light on the wall. And this whole thing moved. And we were radioing each other. We had to stop right then and, live EVP it. We caught it on all the recorders.
You were explaining to us the shadow moving across the hall. And we caught a female voice. I can't remember what she said, but then there was a male voice that said that wasn't right there.
Yeah. It was kind of like mocking me in a way because I was describing that I was sitting there, and it says, "It's not there," like that, in a kind of a graspy voice, raspy, kind of, how we get certain raspy EVPs.
Right.
So that was kind of what it was. Eliza is very prominently here because one of our EVPs is her singing her own voice on one of our visits. We can take you around if you want.
Awesome.
Do you know what the square footage of this place is?
It's 18,000 square feet.
Oh my god.
It's
big.
It's
Yeah.
big. It's
Two sides to it. We heard that voice from somewhere out here. I mean, the lights were off, and there was a part of
It was upstairs.
It was upstairs, emanating down here from. So that was pretty interesting. This parlor area was where Armstrong laid in state for 2 days before the funeral.
3. I think it was 3.
Maybe 3. When we were here, even this room is a hot spot. We got some clicks on the piano, like if somebody was to, do that.
Overnight, we seem to have a lot of things. Footsteps out here. We had somebody, you can hear them come in, walk around, and play with our equipment boxes. Like the little metal things on them. The piano played again. We caught I don't know if you've heard it, a super loud man saying, "Get out!" We had another man in here that said, "Go home," while we were sleeping.
Go home.
Down in the basement, we heard what sounded like maybe a medicine cart being rolled across the floor above us, kind of that sound. These stairs are another hot spot. You will get, especially after dark, super creeps. We had another one of our guys actually got about halfway up and decided, "I'm not going up there," and took off. We've had
Great.
Had some choking.
I think we've
up there
had
too.
4. Well, we've had 4 just the stairs. We've had 4 or 5 groups report seeing, including somebody standing at the top of the stairs,
Okay.
and then seeing them go down the other side. Now we do know we've caught and had psychics tell us, and we backed it up with evidence, that Armstrong on this floor and upstairs likes to pace and whistle.
We catch whistling a
We
lot.
catch whistling and footsteps all the time. You'll hear them, and you'll catch them on recorders. And it's this.
Have you heard it
hall and
audibly? Any of the whistling
this-
audibly?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
At times we've heard it, like you said, audibly, disembodied voice. At other times it'd be EVPs. That Eliza was a disembodied voice too. That wasn't an EVP when that was being sang her voice, her name out. So that was interesting.
Well, let's hit the kitchen.
Yep.
We've not spent a ton of time investigating this general area. We've spent a lot of time in the kitchen.
One of the other claims that was here from when we told you about the guy that got us to come out, a gentleman named Rob, he claims that he saw a full-bodied apparition when he was in here working. There were tables here with a lot of china on them, and he was sorting them out, and he had his head down like this, and out of the corner of his eye, he saw a figure come out in the hall like this, right through that door where you're standing at, look at him for a second, turn around, and walk out. And by the time he started looking up, that's when he saw this figure turn around and walk out. And so this is why we spend a lot of time in here, because a full-bodied apparition had been sighted by him. He said, solid, not
transparent.
not transparent, just like looked like a person. And he went out and looked in the hall, and he's like, "There's nobody here. What the heck just happened?" So that was one of his biggest experiences, and then he got scratched, and that was the thing that really got him to call us and say, "Hey, there's something happening up here."
And in the kitchen, we've had hair pulled, shirts tugged on. We are all sitting around one of these tables, and another one of our investigators said that a lady, she believed was Eliza, she saw her kind of hovering, standing over her, intrusively close, and saw her there, and immediately burst into tears and had to leave the house. It was that like an intense
Overwhelming,
emotional
yeah.
reaction to it. We have all seen, sitting at this table, about child-sized shadows come in and out of this doorway. We've seen them stand in the doorway. We've seen them walk in and walk out. We've seen them peek around the corner. We have had a tall, described as a male, kind of that tall, slender shadow figure, that masculine shadow figure, come in the doorway, walk down, and then disappear. Just kind of...
They're about 10 feet inside the doorway.
And then poof, gone. We have had REM pod hits in here last weekend.
Okay.
Additional shadow figures were last weekend.
This side was built afterwards. I think the original, it was built like not that long after the this side was built. Not that long. I think it was like 8 years after that they built this whole other side. And this is another thing. Can't understand why the expansion really. It was just them. This side had been used for many, many different things. And in the very first incarnation of when the Beatties left here, this became, it was called the Home for the Friendless. And St. Joe, way back in the day, had a lot of, activity here. There's a lot of people in and out. There's also a lot of ladies of the evening that were employed in St. Joe. And when they got pregnant, then there was no place for them to really go. Here is where they stayed, and also other people. It was almost kind of like a local poorhouse. Back in the day, poorhouses, were for, it was kind of the beginning of almost maybe mental illness or social services. And then later on, you'll see that panel box. That panel box, I guess, was done maybe back in the 60s, because it was then, elder care nursing home. That's why, hence all the numbers all over the whole house.
I see 'em.
And then, I think it was in the 80s, the 70s, it was a drug rehab. And we've got, just interesting rooms with different things in here. Child spirits or giggling sometimes, quick little walking, or is heard. This is also the servant staircase. Up this staircase. One time there was when they had just recently been bought and they were trying to renovate. This was where a person heard somebody say, "I'll be right there, sir," in like a British accent from this servant staircase. And it just kind of took this guy by surprise. He was like, "That's very odd," but with a British accent. But this would be the servant side, second floor, same side. But all the buildings, all the it's all broken down into numbered rooms, various different rooms. Forgot how many rooms are in here.
36.
36,
Wow.
18 bathrooms. When we were here just a minute ago, we were asking about feels. I kind of got them right up here. And we were talking, to the spirits and saying, "Hey, we're going to have visitors tonight," and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
And so then I got some ear ringing and stuff like that, but none of that's happening right now. So when we have had psychics, they would say there's a lot of energy flow in this spot right here. And not really saying anything direct, but just indirect. There's a lot of energy flow. And a female spirit is felt up here. This is where maybe if Eliza is around, from what the psychics told us, that may be where she's at on this floor.
We actually call this Eliza's Hall.
Yeah.
Because from what we understand and from evidence we've caught, she seems to patrol this area, and then the connecting hall, she almost protects. She doesn't want people coming in this area. She really does not like men.
Almost every time that we're here, this connecting hallway gives you the feels at night when you come through it. Almost always. When we caught that funny voice, this is the closest spot we had, not funny voice, but the lady that said, "Won't you take me home?" We had a recorder sitting right there. Moving to the other side, this is a room where people had stayed while they were beginning the renovations. Some stories about, and it's a really nice kind of calming room. I've been in here a bunch of different times. To me, of course, just because of the bed and stuff, it has a very feminine feel to it. They had a guy living here that was kind of trying to, the first caretaker to help out, and it was a college friend of his. And he stayed in this room, and during the night of a thunderstorm, he had some other mild things happen, but during the night of a thunderstorm, it was like knocking on the door. He was like he was in this room, in his bed, and there was knocking on the door, pop, 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 like that. So he was like, "What the heck? I know there's nobody here." He's like, "Who is that?" And he started to get up and pop, pop, pop again, like open the door. And he's like, "I don't know what I'm going to do. The only thing I've got is this golf club." And he was afraid because it was like there's somebody there. He could hear it. I mean, it was loud. It was right there. So he gets close to the door, dun dun dun, like that again. So that's a lot of knocking. He throws the door open, nobody there, but all the lights are on in this hallway. We'll go on down this way, creaky stairs.
Are we heading to the basement?
Yes. This at night, lots of shadow play right in here. I've been touched and poked. It was very weird. The third investigation we did here, I was sitting in that doorway and it just felt like two fingers just poked you, but it didn't leave. It just poked and stayed. And as you've done this for a while, you're like, okay, I don't jerk from it. I'm kind of like, all right, let's see how long this lasts. And it was a good 2 seconds it stayed there. And it was very odd. And then it just kind of dissipated and it was right behind on my back. I was sitting down like this and it was right on my back under my armpit. Odd. And then we have had shadows here. This is, I don't know, it's just at night. This place is pretty interesting.
There's also, and we know there is from evidence to back it up, there is a very angry, dark male spirit down here. We'll take you down the other side. We have almost everybody that's been here has gotten growled at in that hallway. We've had people hissed at. Kurt got hissed at last weekend, got poked in the neck and had a bruise. Well, I sat down here one night, I came down by myself and sat on one of these 5-gallon drums and was just kind of watching this way. And I kept seeing a shadow come and it kept coming closer and then go back, then come a little closer. I mean, like it was playing games or checking me out, or I don't know what it was doing. And then all of a sudden, it just bum rushed me. I mean, straight at me, straight at my face, and I got that I'm in danger feeling is the best way to describe that. To the point where I jumped and I kind of stumbled back a few steps because I thought I was being attacked by something.
We've had some groups come in and say that they've gotten stuff in the kitchen, some EVPs and things like that. Here's the biggest thing in the basement where the guy got scratched. And we've caught EVPs down here and heard walking down here. It was right here with this door open to the hallway where he got scratched at. He was sitting right here, and that's when he got the scratches on his arm. But we'll get growls a lot right in this area, right when we walk in. This is a weird little room. We've caught EVPs in here and got real like touchy feelings, spiderwebby feelings, like a touch. This hallway at night, pretty creepy to walk through. It goes all the way down to the very end, right here.
I do want to tell you, on this bench right here, I set a recorder. First time we were here, we all left the building, and we caught a man laughing. One of my favorite things we've caught. And he does this.
Oh, creepy.
Yeah.
And it was right in this room. There seems to be kids in that doorway area. We've caught kids, we've caught the running, we've caught giggling. Another group caught a woman almost comforting somebody, saying, "Don't worry, everything's going to be okay, don't worry."
St. Croix Paranormal here at the Beattie Mansion, also known as the House on the Hill in Missouri. We just got all set up. Took us quite a while. It's a huge place. We're super excited. Hoping we get a lot of good EVPs and a lot of good action. And we're going to start by heading down to the basement. So, how you feeling, Linda?
The basement scares me.
All right. Well, there you have it. So we're going to get started. Hello. Anyone down here in the basement? Anybody in here with us? You can touch the things in our hand. Let us know that you're here. We can communicate this way. Can you make some sort of noise? Does it kind of sound like something moving around upstairs?
I thought I was hearing steps or shuffling,
Yeah.
like almost directly above us.
I got chills, but it's hard to tell right now where.
Yeah. But I thought I heard steps more than once.
Yeah, I did too. Don't forget, I got a little bear down here if there's any children. Can you give me some sort of sign that you're here? I just touch this thing in my hand. Linda's got one too. Oh, thank you. I got some other device that I'm going to put on that I'd love if you'd come and have a conversation with me. So I'd really love it if you come talk to me on this so I can ask you just a few questions. Were you here when they made meals in the kitchen?
I think that's his flash.
Did it?
Yep.
I wasn't watching, but I got the good
It's
one.
right
Who's with us? I see you touching that. You want to communicate with that instead?
Yes.
If you want to communicate with me with the thing on the table instead of what's in my hand, light it up. Get real close to it.
Oh, there we go.
Did it go?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll shut that off.
That went almost all the way up.
Is this a man? Touch that if you're a man. Is it a woman?
Is it a child?
Are you a little kid? Can you touch that if you're a kid? If you're, oh, there you go. Thank you. So this must be a child. That was the last question I asked. Can you hit it one more time if you're a child? Nice to meet you. Are you a boy? Can you touch it if you're a boy? Are you a little girl? Can you touch it if you're a little girl? So you're a little girl? Do you like dolls? Yeah. You know, I have a little bear. Yeah, I know. I have a little bear over in the hallway.
Can you go upstairs? That's an answer. Do you want to come upstairs with us?
Yeah. How about I count numbers, and when I get to the number you are, you touch it, okay? You want to do that? Yeah. 3, 4, 5. What is that? 4, 5, 5.
Feeling a cold breeze on my legs.
Oh, I've been since we've been standing here.
I'm just.
Well, once we started getting the K2 meters. Are you around us right now? All right, well, thanks for interacting with us. Oh, this is a nice big room. Could try the 11 in this room. Hello. What's your name, sir? Do you ever smoke cigars? What did you do when you were relaxing? What was your favorite thing to do on your downtime? Well, that was cool. We actually heard quite a bit. I mean, I for sure heard some things.
Yeah, I did too.